because apparently he likes the smell of alcohol. Mm-hmm. He has not actually tried it yet, but he has definitely wanted to try it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to our Thursday night Q&A on Dylan Talks Tone. We're going to take some questions that have been put in on patreon.com/Dylan Talks Tone and from YouTube members who've hit the little join button. And if you want to put a bunch of question marks in front of a question, you can ask it too. Or you can use a super chat. So all of these live streams that we do are ad-free. We turn the ads on later, but during the live streams, they are ad-free. So if you want to support the channel, you can use a super chat, or you can, just watch actually and share. We really appreciate that too. If you don't want to spend any money. The other thing is I wrote, use the links in the description. So there's a bunch of links down in the description of this video, companies that support the channel, including ours. So DylanTalksTone.com, go and buy some pickups. We got some really neat custom stuff right now, flamed nickel, and some really cool stuff I've never done before, and it's selling pretty well. So that's pretty neat. So yeah, there you go. And we've got some questions that came in the subject in the thumbnail, and we're ready to roll.
You just want to jump right in?
I mean, yeah, it's all I got.
It's what time it is?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Here we go.
Oh, except we got some super chats.
Oh, all right. Well, yeah. There's that too. That's the wrong button.
That's okay.
I'm supposed to hit that button.
That's okay.
Sorry. Super chat from Dastardly Dave. Thanks for the super chat, Dave. He says ad free is for me.
Thank you so much, Dave.
And I'm going to put the right button this time. Also, super chat from Van Shank Guitars. Thanks for the super chat, Ivan. He said ad free for me.
Thank you, Ivan. Thank you a lot. Yeah, cool.
Someone's dad, like that's their name. Leslie rocking the power professional look. I don't know if I look
You're
powerful.
Professional.
Am I?
Sure.
All right. Sure. All right. Shane. Good morning, lovely Leslie and dashing Dylan. I feel like that's a classic. We go back to that one.
Yeah, we go back to that one, yeah.
I read a David Gilmour quotation where he said humbuckers are good for players who want to sound like someone else, while single coils are ideal for players who wish to discover their own voice. Would you agree with his assessment?
You can take that down because we're going to talk about this for a few minutes. I want to know what you all think. I don't agree, because why does a particular pickup type limit your creativity in any way? I feel the opposite. I feel like if I play a guitar that goes in general, and I think this is kind of almost maybe human nature sort of thing. Well, I suppose it depends on your personality, but some folks are afraid of something different, or some folks want to explore something different. I am in the latter category. So if I play, because I play a lot of P90s, so when I pick up a humbucker guitar, the very first thing I do is start thinking of other things that I haven't played lately, or try to discover new sounds, because now I have something new in my hands. Like, I think any rut can be gotten into creatively. So I think change is good to get you out of that. And so swapping from, and I don't think it's pickup type specific. I just think it's where you are versus, see, David Gilmour is a single coil person. He plays strats, right? So I don't know. I don't agree with that at all. But also, I am not a person who likes only one thing. There are only Strat people. There are only Tele people. There are only Gibson people. There are only humbucker people. And they come up with excuses to not explore. Because to me, that's what they are. You might call them reasons. I'm going to call them excuses, because I think when you create, I think you should be willing to create, or, you should be looking all over the place to create. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't agree with that at all. I'm kind of curious to see what other people think.
There's some thoughts coming in already.
Okay. Cool.
Well, okay. Matthew Altamere said, I don't know. I've seen Gilmore playing Les Pauls a lot more on some non-concert videos these days.
Okay.
Van Shank Guitar says, I disagree. A pickup and inherently the guitar is just a tool. Evstathio says, does that mean that Slash wanted to sound like someone else?
Ooh, fair point. Fair point.
No Camper says, a pickup is an instrument and they all have a different voice.
I agree.
Doc Siltonen said, I think you need as many types or variants as you can get. Creativity comes from exploration.
Yep, I agree.
All right, hang on. There's more stuff coming in. Let's see. Questions. Someone's dad said, I love every single pickup ever designed. Hums are my fallback for jamming. Single coils are my punch you in the face. P90s are my cleanest joy, and everything else is just fun.
Yeah, I don't know that I have a limit to all that stuff either. That's why I do what I do, because I like exploring all the things.
James Halbert says, I do believe that low output single coils are more dynamic, but that's just one element of creativity.
Okay. Yeah. Fair point.
Whoops. I'm pushing wrong buttons. One moment. Charles Wallace says, I love exploring sound. Always sound like me. Prefer single coil, but can play anything, especially with your pickups.
Thanks, Charles.
Yeah, so sounds like a lot of folks agree.
Yeah, I think it's just, I don't know. I don't know why somebody in his position would say that, except for, unless it was a misquote or something taken out of context. He is such a creative person that I don't see him saying that. I don't want to say on purpose, but like with any kind of intent other than it sounds like maybe it was a soundbite that was kind of cut out of something. And that's,
Yeah, could be. Jason said, I don't like bolt neck guitars and they typically have single coils. I have no problem with single coil tone or dynamics.
Interesting. Yeah. I know a lot of people that say that. I don't understand that, but makes sense.
Marcia Murray said, I have no humbucker, so I guess I'm a single coil guy, but a humbucker guitar is on my list.
Makes sense.
Got a super chat from Kyle Ketchamonia. Thanks for the super chat, Kyle. He said, every tone is good. They all have use, I believe.
I agree. I agree with you. I think that too. Even bad tone is awesome. Dimebag Darrell, for example.
James Dean Anderson said, I draw. I don't stick to only one pen or marker color. Different guitars and tonal options just make sense for staying creative.
Exactly.
Mike Jones says, I think I'm bi-coiler. I like both. Depends.
Bi-coiler. I love it.
Tom F says, I have a few of all, but I do need P90s soon.
Come on.
Bad Joke Gaming says, this is not related, sorry, but I don't want to forget it. Might not remember me from a couple weeks ago, but you mentioned my issues with my soldering might have been a bad ground. It was. Thank you for the help.
Awesome. Oh, that's good.
Sean McMillan said, I recently saw a video that claimed one of Gilmour's famous solos was played on a Les Paul with P90s.
Well, and that's the thing, is there's a lot of guitar stuff in history that is, other instruments used. Is this guitar part was done on this other guitar when normally a guitar player was known for something, or they use some wacky recording method in some bathroom with a paint can around their guitar or whatever, all kind of crazy stuff. So the tone is, that's why I think chasing tone in its purest form like that is kind of irrelevant.
Eustathios says he's coiler curious, I would say.
I dig that. Hey, Eustathios, while I have you, your bass is this close to being done. I was trying to do a retrofit new stuff to a Squier bass video, and I got it all ready, and I was about to put strings on it, and the pickguard won't fit because, and I've never seen this before, the Squier PJ bass is routed in such a way that I can't use a full-size pot in the tone position. Mm-hmm. But I didn't want to put his cheap junk pot back in, cheap Squier pot back in there. So I ordered an actual CTS mini pot. It's going to be here on Monday. So we're going to put that in there, and then that guitar is going to be done. It's hanging in there. It's awesome. So it's almost done. That one is a video project that is his. So I was meant to let him know that yesterday, and I forgot.
Well, he's here, so
cool.
I bet he knows now.
No, it's awesome, man. It's all almost ready.
All right. We want to
go into our
next
question?
One?
Yeah.
All right.
And we can keep talking about this, all night if you want. I'm sure it'll come up again. People jumping on late and stuff.
Rick Bonneville said, singles for mods, humbuckers for rockers. I like both. Makes me a mocker. LOL.
That's funny. I've actually been working on a mods and rockers t-shirt pair.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yep.
Eustathios says, I'm looking forward to the video.
Awesome.
Not the guitar, just the video. I'm just.
Oh no, he wants the guitar.
Yeah.
He's biting at the bullet for it.
All right. Doc. Happy International Ninja Day, Leslie and Dylan.
Ninja.
Dylan, how does the stock pickup in the new Les Paul Jr. compare to the pickup that came in your SG Jr.? Cheers.
I don't know, because my SG Jr. Gibson SG Jr. Pickup has not been in that guitar for like 3 or 4 years. It's in the case because I put one of my P90s in it, so I don't have the reference. I did play most of my P90 bridge pickups against the Gibson Custom Shop guitar last night, and I will say that Gibson Custom Shop P90 is the best P90 I've ever heard that is not mine. But when I play them back to back, so if I take my SG Junior, which has one of my dog ear P90s in it, or I take the Siltonen that you built me and play it side by side with it, it's still my favorite. My P90 is still my favorite. One of the reasons I bought that guitar, that Custom Shop Junior, is because I wanted that as a reference. I wanted... we have a Telly, we have a Les Paul, we have a legit Strat around. We've got some stuff. I'm trying to kind of collect all the big ones that will give me that reference, and that was it. No, I'm still really happy with my own P90 over the Custom Shop one, but that Custom Shop one is very good. Yeah.
Cool. Not just Ninja Day, International Ninja Day.
For those of you that don't know, I bought it just came in yesterday. I did not, because it was more of a personal thing for me, and it's really not for the channel. I will still do a thing about it. Normally I do like an unboxing video live, but I bought a Gibson Custom Shop 58 Les Paul Jr. double cut TV yellow. It is unbelievably good. I shot a bunch of B-roll for it today. We'll make a video for it next week.
Yesterday?
Yeah.
I'll make a video for it yesterday.
I'm really stoked on it. I'm really, really stoked on it. It's a great guitar. I smashed my finger in my arbor press pressing bobbins yesterday or 2 days ago. So I'm going to be losing this fingernail. And so I can't really play guitar right now, but I did play a little bit last night. I had to kind of power through it because I couldn't not play it. It's just so good. All right, next Patreon question
is from Rob. Hello, Leslie and Dylan. Have you heard the rumor going around that Gibson will move manufacturing to Indonesia in 2025? I don't believe it or think it makes sense. What are you hearing? What are your thoughts? Thanks.
I have not heard that. That makes no sense that they would do that. Why would they do that? Like that doesn't even... Now, they may move some manufacturing for some of their lines to Indonesia. What if they were moving Epiphone out of China? What if they were moving some amp manufacturing to Indonesia? That would make sense. I don't see, and I have not heard, and I've talked to a few people in the last couple of weeks that would have mentioned something about that to me. Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense why they would do that. There's probably a bunch of other little things that they make where some of it could go to Indonesia, which would make sense. Parts or, I don't know. They make a lot of stuff. So, but I can't see them like saying, hey, we're going to make the Gibson, the US made Gibson Les Paul in Indonesia now. That makes no sense. He's snoring.
Ivan, good evening, Dylan and Leslie. Dylan, I just now came across this simple mod for a Strat bridge pickup to get a bass boost with just a few inexpensive parts. Short video here. Apparently there was a
link and I did not get a chance to watch it.
You just remembered as I was reading it.
I just remembered that I didn't get a chance to watch it.
All right. So I'm assuming this was on Patreon. So
yeah, it was.
Patreon folks, you can watch that video. Dylan will watch that video and then you can discuss it there, apparently.
Yes, because that was yes.
Fail.
He's
even here. He hasn't even gone to bed yet. He was waiting for his answer.
Man, I feel bad about that.
You ready for more questions and thoughts?
It looks like we have, so it looks like Zoltan put a late question on Patreon. So I'm just going to read it right here. Hey, Leslie and Dylan, any idea what can cause a single saddle of a Graphtec Piezzo bridge to malfunction? The output from the high E string is very much quieter than all the others. The wire is not broken and it is securely connected on both ends. I don't really know how a Piezzo saddle works. So I'm not sure what to troubleshoot here. Thanks. The only thing I can think of to do, it's probably an internal problem to the saddle. Those are weird. They can short. I have had that happen with acoustic saddles before. Or parts of them can short. So see if you can go from ground to the conductor on some of the other saddles and see if you can see a resistance difference. But my guess is that particular saddle is bad if you're sure that your other connections are all set up properly.
Van Shank Guitar says, just waiting like the lonely Maytag repairman. Sorry, that was funny.
That was funny.
You deserve that.
Yeah, I did.
All right. Let's see what's coming in here. Hugo Welty, question, are PRS SE guitars better or worse now that they're made by Court? I know they have a good rep, but I've had the worst luck back when they were Korean.
Court makes excellent stuff. And I have not had one, because I've had a bunch of stuff through here. I have not had one bad PRS. I had, well, let me take that back. I had one when the Maple Neck Silver Sky SE came out. the frets were kind of funky on that. But as far as the other SE stuff, like all your, you know, your DGT and your 594, all that stuff, it's all been awesome. It's all been really, really good. They are great guitars.
Chris Lale, can you get as much detail out of a humbucker as you do out of a single coil with EQ?
You don't need EQ even if you have a good humbucker. A low output humbucker that is really dynamic, you can get a lot out of it. If you take one of our DAFs, our Alnico 5 DAFs with you know, like a PAF wind, and play that through.
And in addition, he said the same question later and then said, I play without a pick, flamenco inspired. If that matters.
Oh, yeah. Just a really low output pickup would be awesome. Yep.
The first time I saw that, I thought he said pink flamingo. And then it said without pick flamenco. I was like,
nice. Without pink flamingo.
No, pick. Without a pick.
Look at him.
He plays without a pick. He's so big.
Yeah.
All right.
We got one of our pythons is out over here and he's all stretched across.
Someone's dad said, my mom is a full-on cosmetologist and licensed beautician. I've not heard the word beautician in a long time. Who was making $1,000 a week in the 80s. So I associate the glam look with professionalism and power.
Oh, well, it makes sense. The glam look.
Glam. That we answered. Looks like people submitted their question a couple times. Jay Gooch, I am going to try a set of your single coils. I have tried many and never got a good sound for me.
Awesome. Hit me in the chat on the website before you buy them so we make sure you get to the right set. We have like 4 different models now, so.
Let's see. Make sure I'm not missing things. All right. Somebody didn't like that I was missing things. Actually, they're probably a little behind, but Michael Moore, I really only ever used the bridge humbucker for live performances. At home, I hardly ever use anything but single coils.
Interesting.
I missed that when we were talking about it. James Dean Anderson's given a suggestion, probably because you were talking about a shirt. He said, bad modder rocker.
That's pretty good.
Phil Grochel says, I'm not sure I could tell you the difference in sound between a humbucker and a single coil or even a P90. With all of the variations in settings, it would be a challenge to define it with accuracy.
You know, I understand that. I think a lot of people can't make that determination. If you listen to, especially when there's gainier stuff, for example, if you listen to 2 records that I think of, okay, Pearl Jam 10 and 7 Mary 3 American Standard. That's the one with Cumbersome on it. There are on both records songs that contain single coil and humbucker guitars in the same song. So you could have, like on Even Flow, there is a Strat and a Les Paul. On Cumbersome, there's a Telly and a Les Paul. And sometimes...
Snoring.
I know, he's snoring like crazy. And sometimes... If you don't listen to that with a really educated and really critical ear, you can get those guitar parts mixed up because of the way they're done. They're done so well. And the other thing too is the way music is mixed. Once you start doubling stuff, because everybody does that now, you know, like your guitar track could be 4 layers deep, which can give you phasing and other situations where it sounds like, if you take two tellies and put them 30 milliseconds apart or less, it'll sound bigger. You know what I mean? So I can understand why people would be confused by it. By what tone is what. The puppy went to the groomers today, and then he stayed for doggy daycare because I wanted him to get some like socialization, and I can actually get some work done when he's not here. So he's exhausted now.
Bob Manners said humbuckers, taller, skinny single coil, shorter, fatter single coil, lipstick single coil, etc. all have their place on the palette.
Oh, amen. Yeah, I agree.
Epstadio says, I don't think that Gibson had anything to gain by moving their Gibson guitars production out of the USA. It is not like they aren't selling any.
Yeah, no, they're making everything. They're selling everything they can make.
Benjamin Boatman, Stratocaster is a humbucker with 3 coils. The selector switch is a coil split device. Brian May wired his trisonic humbucker in series. That opened up a whole new world of understanding for me.
Yeah, so now let's just clarify that real quick. So a regular Strat does not have any series wiring in it. So it does not do the humbucker thing. However, there are wiring mods that you can do that are not difficult that can do what you're saying and put 2 of the coils in series, and it will sort of sound like a humbucker. It won't totally, because the distance between the 2 makes a big difference. As you start to separate them physically, it changes that. But yes, you can take 2 single coils in a Strat or in a Telly and wire them in series, and it will definitely give you those vibes. I have a PRS. My PRS Fiore has a push-pull that I can pull that puts a couple of the single coils in series, and it's awesome.
It's Victoria G. Humbuckers can have a nice warm tone, but my ears are faulty and the line between warm and muffled is very fine. You can pry my single coils from my cold, dead hands.
You need to try some of our humbuckers, ma'am.
They're not muffly.
Nope.
Saifu, I don't know, Montgomery. I received your P90 in the mail and got it put in my 59 Les Paul Jr. Your pickup sounds better than the original.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And then he said, my original pickup is at Brandon wound for a rewind as you suggested.
Oh, okay. So he's the one that had an original.
Yeah.
Oh, so you have a real 59.
Yeah, he said that before.
Yeah. Well, that makes me feel really good because that's very cool. So like my guitar is a custom shop guitar. So it's not the real thing. I mean, it's the real thing as real thing can get without being what you have. So that's very cool. I appreciate that. That makes me feel good.
Glad they could take care of him too.
Mm-hmm. And I'm glad that Zach can handle sorting out your real pickup too. That's awesome.
Kim Lombardi, please explain the difference between 250 pots versus 500 pots and how each changes the pickup sound.
So we have 2 or 3 really good videos that really dive into this on our channel. In fact,
they will come up in search.
They will come up in search because they are our most popular videos of all time. That one and fret polishing for some reason with the Lizard Spit Kit. It's our most popular videos of all 1,500 videos that we have. So it'll come up, just Dylan Talks Tone, 500K, 250K. There will be like 3 videos. One's really, really old. It's episode 10. And then the other one is about a year and a half ago. Okay, so let's dive into that real quick. I'll just give you kind of the Cliff's Notes version. The lower the number, okay, the less high. This is just a very simplified version. The lower the number, the less highs are going to be allowed to go through. Okay. So 250 is going to cut more highs even when the volume is all the way up. And when you turn the volume down, it's going to cut more out. Okay. So that's why typically people will say to use 500s with humbuckers and 250K with single coils. Personally, I don't think that that is a hard and fast rule. I think it's something that you can use to tune what your guitar does. So, and it's most important on the volume pot. That being said, it doesn't just cut highs, but it actually takes, if you took like the group of frequencies that this guitar was really good at, it would actually kind of shift them all. So, if you put 500Ks pots in there, it's going to shift it more to the high side. If you put 250Ks, it's going to shift everything a little bit more to the low side. But the more predominant thing that you're going to hear is less and more highs. So 250, less highs, 500K, more highs. There's way more to it than that, and those videos really dive into it, but that's just kind of the Cliff's Notes version for now.
Super chat from Michael Hollis. He says, after a year, build came today. P90s are amazing.
Oh, awesome. Build? What build?
I don't know. That's what he said. Build came today. So maybe he was having something built.
Oh, maybe.
Obviously.
Yeah. I'm curious to know what that is. Get back in the comments and let us know.
Get back in.
And thank you for the super chat, because that was a super chat.
Did I not say thank you? I did not.
I don't know.
Thank you, Michael.
You put it up on the screen, so I'd assumed that it was. So
yeah, it was a super chat, but now you made me doubt if I said anything. All right. Alex, is there a unique wiring style you recommend trying? Adding a half blend to my Silver Sky this weekend.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm not a big kind of crazy wiring combination guy. That being said, on a Silver Sky or like on a Strat, one of my favorites is the David Gilmour thing, to where you do a switch, like a push pull or a toggle, to turn the neck pickup on. So that you can have what that makes it possible to do. It gives you two positions that you don't normally have on a Strat. It gives you all three pickups on. So when you put the bridge in the middle pickup on and then you flip that switch, then the neck pickup also comes on. So you have all three pickups on at once, which a Strat normally doesn't have. And then the other thing you don't normally have on a Strat is the bridge and the neck together at the same time. And that I really like. And it's a pretty easy mod to do. You can Google that.
Super chat from Kyle Ketchamonia. Thank you for the super chat, Kyle. He said, stepdad gave me a lawsuit era Granada SG. Current pickups are really microphonic. Ooh. I have Enduro for the neck, looking for a bridge humbucker. Mogo? I don't know what that means.
I would say put a DAF in there. Put a DAF in there. That would balance pretty well with that.
So Michael Hollis says it's a custom CMG Ashley from Statesboro, Georgia, LP style, full custom.
Wow, I didn't even know. I've never heard of that. That's pretty neato.
He will bring it by next time through. Do we know him?
No, but thank you for when you introduce my stuff to other builders, that's a huge compliment to us. And I really appreciate that.
Okay, sorry.
Because I'm assuming that he's like, hey, I'm having this custom guitar built by this person.
Yeah. And you must
I want to use these pickups.
I mean, who knows about somebody in Statesboro, Georgia? So I assume maybe he's
we go to Statesboro.
Nearer to us. I just went there shopping.
Yeah, you just went there a couple weeks ago. So yeah, I mean, yeah.
All right. Erodigy. Sorry. There are people that choose one over another. You have to have at least 2 guitars, one with single coils and one with humbuckers. That's the bare minimum.
You have to have at least 5. Or aspire to. Mm-hmm.
John Gabriel, thank you for the super chat. He says, on a stack knob pot, is there a fix if one of them has almost no indent? This is on my brand new Kiesel bass, which sounds great.
Not really, because that's internal to the pot. So one of the downsides, there's 2 downsides to using those. And in your situation, that's kind of what you have to use, right? So that the detent isn't very good in the middle, which is really no fix for it except for trying another one to see if it's better. And then the other thing I have a hard time with is the taper on them is not so good usually. But if it's a Kiesel, chances are they put some thought into that. So that's pretty cool. Was that a super chat?
It was.
Yeah, thanks, man.
So Michael Hollis says that CMG stands for Chris Mitchell Guitars, and he has 22 in his collection.
What? I am writing this down. Because if we're going to be down there, reach out to him and see if he would be interested. I'd be interested to see his stuff. Or at least drop a bug in your ear and in his ear and let him know that you mentioned it. So that if maybe I shoot him an email or something, he's not surprised.
And for anybody that's just listening, Van Shank Guitar says that person should call Kiesel. They'll make it right.
Yeah, I think so. That's probably true.
Tom F., do you like the Humbucker-sized P90s? Is there a tonal difference?
I do like them. We made one for a long time, and I am in the process right now. So what it is they're a little different because the dimension is a little different. A P90 is too long to fit in a humbucker spot. So the architecture is a little different. So that means that the sound will be a little different because the coil is a little bit different shape, but it's not really a lot different. It's just a little bit different. That being said, we had to stop making them because there was parts that we could not get anymore. However...
Oh, he has 22 in his collection, but only one CMG.
Oh,
He's
okay.
clarifying.
Oh, okay.
My bad.
I am in the process right now of trying to have the parts manufactured so that we can make these pickups again because they're so good.
Novotny, maybe. OMG, you're a lefty that plays right-handed. Traitor.
I am. Yeah. So when I was a kid, we owned a guitar store when I was a kid. My dad, I grew up in a guitar store, and my dad is like, either learn to play right-handed or you're going to get stuck with hardly any choices. Because when I was a kid, there was even way less choices than there is now. So, you were basically stuck. You're going to play a black Strat for the rest of your life because that's all there was. There was nothing. So, yeah.
Steve Rezer says, hi, Dylan and Leslie. How do I get a custom engraved all metal bottle opener from you? I have one in my cart waiting.
Buy that and shoot me a message and I will work with you. Just buy it and then hit me up and we'll get you sorted.
Kyle Ketchamonia said, I love using different pickups and guitars on songs I record, creating more textures.
Yeah, I agree.
SC David, the most important difference is how they behave and you can interact with them. And as the tone goes, that depends on how you shape your tone with them. The thing is, you got to try stuff.
That's it. That's what I think too. I don't know why you would limit yourself if, unless you didn't have a choice, but if you can choose and play around and learn, yeah.
Justin Deering says PAF versus wide range humbuckers.
PAS all day.
Doc Siltonen, my 4-way wired telly with P90s is a monster. Series wiring is definitely a great thing.
Oh yeah, he's got that cool one. That was the first pickups he wound with me at a class.
James Dean Anderson, Dylan, your new laser etching capacity is awesome.
Thanks, man. We're having a lot of fun with it. And I have to say, I made a post on Instagram today and on Facebook thanking everybody for kind of embracing it because, guitar players can be a little kind of real super traditional and like kind of stuck in our ways about how, I want this white pickguard with this, But everybody's been really cool. The amount of custom stuff, like for example, we shipped like 12 orders today. And I want to say that 3 of them were normal things with no custom stuff. Everything else was super custom stuff. I have to tell you, after making, 11,000 pickups over my career so far and doing this for 11 years, when somebody says, hey, I want to make something kind of wacky, it just makes my day because it's just kind of out of the norm and it makes it fun and it makes it personal. Like you order, even if it's something kind of form, like, drop down, you're getting a Paisley thing. It still feels like I'm making it for you, instead of something that's just like an inventory part. So that's really cool. So I appreciate everybody kind of jumping on the bandwagon of liking the cool stuff because it's just really fun to make.
Sifu Montgomery said, yes, sir, a genuine 59. It was my father's first guitar. I got lucky. Thank you so much for the amazing P90 and the rewind suggestion.
That's really cool, man. That doesn't get cooler than that.
Evstathio says, by the way, your top 10 guitars for 2024 video has seriously influenced me. I'm now a first-time owner of a Gibson. I got a new studio in Blueberry Burst and loving it a lot more than I thought I would.
Oh, dude, that's so cool. To me, of any guitar of the year, well, there's personally, first of all, I would say buy a Texas Toast to anything right now before they get more expensive. And then second, for the same money. So we're talking same money. We're talking $1,500, $1,600. Get yourself a Texas Toast and get yourself one of those new Les Paul Studios. And so for the price of a Les Paul Standard, you could have, to me, 2 of the best guitars in the business right now. It's just you have to. That's where I'm, 100%.
Hogman Hawk says, do you have cool covers for your Jazzmaster P90?
We could do something. Yeah, I could put I will put some stuff on Instagram and on our Facebook page over the next couple of days to show you what we can do with Jazzmaster stuff. So basically, any of the plastic covers that you've seen so far. So we've done camo, we've done paisley, we've done, we did humbucker bobbins the other day, white humbucker bobbins with like a dark gray paisley on it. We can do that. Yeah. So yeah, there's a few things we can do. I just haven't done it because nobody's asked for it. But we can do it.
Now they have.
Yeah.
Matthew Altamere, how would OD distortion be affected if you ran them through FX loop instead of front of amp?
So Your effects loop is basically so that you can use some effects without putting them in front of the preamp. And so a lot of times, like your time-based effects and stuff, you do not want to overdrive as much, if at all, like less. And so you would skip the preamp and put them into the effects loop. That's kind of why you would do that.
Crazy Lazy Dave said, if I knew 100% I could replace a single coil with an otherwise identical humbucker, I think I always would do that. But I don't think that is actually possible. Luckily, I enjoy humbuckers too.
Yeah, there's a lot of folks that spend a lot of time trying to get those two things to be each other, right? Like a humbucker to be a single coil and a single coil to be a humbucker. And with our center punch humbucker, we've gotten the coil splitting thing pretty dang figured out. Like that we've done very well with that, but it's still not the same, and it's just a physics thing. It's the size of the coil, it's where the magnets are located, all that stuff. And so people will say, well, this certain brand, people talk about Kinman, for example, being a really good stacked single coil. But it doesn't sound like a humbucker. Even a Joe Barden doesn't sound like a humbucker. It sounds like a gnarly single coil. So just because of the physics of the thing, you're right. It's never going to do that. So that's why there's more than one thing to like.
Sean McMillan said, aha moment. When I say I like humbuckers over single coils, that's in reference to what I'm playing, not what I'm listening to.
Ah, okay.
It's Victoria G said 9 more weeks until the estimated completion of my first Kiesel. Not like I'm over here counting or anything.
That's interesting. That is a guitar I have not bought yet, and I should at some point.
Kyle Cachimonia says, hey, I used a Canadian pickup builder for Epiphone Les Paul Special. It sounds good with overdrive, but muddy when clean. Kind of don't like them now. Wanted Canadian. Why are they like that?
Just how they're wound. So all my family is Canadian, and I grew up like right over the border, and like my grandmother is from Canada. All my family is Canadian. So I don't know if that influences your decision or not.
Super chat from Sean McMillan. Thanks for the super chat, Sean. He says ad free. Also, I sent a follow-up email on the custom project a week or so back. I'm not sure it came through. Please double check. Thank you.
I did not see it because I've been looking for it. Yeah, I did not see it at all. I know that for sure.
Jim Cox. I'm going to wire a double tap humbucker into an HSS using 5-way to split in position 2. Should I use the humbucker with screws opposite polarity of middle since the screw coil is the hotter one, or don't worry?
So if it's not my center punch, it won't matter. The screw coil and the slug coil are the same, so it won't matter.
James Halbert, I just ordered the Enduro set a couple of weeks ago, so it's going to be a little while.
I don't know. Go on to the next question and I will look.
All righty. It's Victoria G said, I never even wanted to play humbuckers until I got into Tak Matsumoto and Paul Gilbert.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that makes sense.
James Dean Anderson said 3 out of 4 being customized orders is an extremely good sign that you've found a niche. Even 50% would be a huge mark to hit.
Yep. Let's see. Your pickups, James Halbert. are being wound maybe tomorrow, maybe Monday. The bobbins are made. The custom part is done. The Strat Hot 5 style pickup is made. Yes, so you should be shipping early next week. Yeah.
Dog Dr. Tim said, I saw a tuber with a telly build with a toggle switch that changed between a vintage cap and a modern cap in the circuit. Vintage and modern sounds on command. Does this sound effective?
So the circuit is different. So yes, you could actually change, because what you do is you change where the cap is hooked up to the pot, how it's hooked up to both pots. And so your modern versus vintage wiring can change, because that will definitely change how the volume knob works. Yeah, for sure. That would be a thing. Yep.
Jose Daniel Zamora P got here late. Welcome. Dylan, can you do a burnt metal telly pickguard? I want one of those, and also a Paisley full pimp metal set, including bridge.
So I can do the second part. I can do all the Paisley stuff.
Could that be a drop down? Full pimp set?
Yeah. I can do a full Paisley set. I cannot do a full flamed pickguard because I do not have the facility to cut metal. And if I was to flame a pickguard, I don't think it would end up flat. It would warp. So that's the skill and the trick.
Even if it was metal? Even with what you're doing with the covers?
Yeah, so even that's the trick with the covers, is to do it correctly. If I do it wrong, I'll ruin the cover because it'll warp it. It'll be so much heat in it. You can't overheat it. And you got to watch it around the corners because it'll shrink the metal. Like there's a whole, I ruined.
Like easy bake oven for metal?
No. I should do a video showing me doing it because it's
sketchy.
Yeah. Like, if a pickup is $12 or whatever, or $15 or $20, depending on the style of pickup. Yeah, I can ruin something real quick. Like,
that's funny.
Yeah, I have ruined. It's why I've not done it until now, because I tried it before and I ruined a bunch of stuff. And I'm like, let me try this again.
And it's hard to reproduce, right? Because it's going to look different inherently. Different.
You can't guarantee that there's going to be two, there will never be two that look the same. And depending on, the chrome and stuff, or not the chrome, but the nickel. Oh, that's the other thing. Chrome looks different than nickel because chrome has a coating on it that nickel doesn't have. Yeah, there's a whole thing to it. It's really cool, but it's definitely I've got it down now. I can do it, but it's not a quick process either. Like cutting a laser cutting a pickup. You guys have seen the videos of that, and those are mostly in real time. So it takes a couple minutes, but flaming one, I mean, I sit out there in the driveway with a torch for 15, 20 minutes each, sometimes just sitting there, just like, and watching it and being careful and watching it and looking at it. And then, yeah, it's a thing. It's definitely a thing.
All right. We're going to run through, Jose sent a few more. Also, I'm late to the topic, but I'm against those who are in favor and in favor of those who are against it.
Oh my God, that's funny.
And then he said, I left a review on the center punch, by the way, but I think it needs approval. He sent some pictures as well.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so about once a week or so, I go through and moderate all the reviews, which just means click a button so they all come up. And just so you know, we do not block even negative reviews. Maybe only ever gotten 2 ever, but we don't.
You just moderate them for spam.
Yes, because we get a lot of we get a lot.
And they need to be approved purchasers. Or
Correct.
not approved purchasers. They need to be valid purchasers.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Jose also said, I guess as you're telling him no, basically, how about some sort of rainbow mirror pickguard like the one in the Dragon Telly of Jimmy Page?
Maybe. It depends. I will send you a couple of acrylics that I have access to, and you tell me if that gets us close. Because I do have some kind of rainbow mirrored stuff that looks pretty cool.
Actually, I have to find it. I don't know what I did with it. I have a little mirror that I wanted you to test something on because I read something in some laser group somewhere.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Anyway.
Etch the back of it?
Yeah. But I have to find it. I don't know what I did with it.
Yeah. So you etch the back of it that takes the coating off, and you do it in negative so that when you see it from the front.
Yes. That would be amazing. But they're just those little, remember the mirrors I used to have I put under candles and stuff? So they're super cheap.
Well, that was the joke because remember I was like, hey, I made my own Jimmy Page Telecaster, and we just stuck those mirrors to the front of a Telecaster. Yeah. It was those ones. I remember that.
I don't know what happened to all of them. I only have like one, but I don't know where it is. It might be on top of the cabinet in there. Anyway, F. Stathio says, on the TTG Challenger, would you suggest a level 1 or a level 2? Isn't the difference just the finish? If you decide to go with Dylan P90s, is the 73 finish worth it over the thin one on the level 1?
Yes. Level 2 all the way.
Joe Coach says, hi, Dylan and Leslie. I just bought a Squire Contemporary Strat hardtail.
Sweet.
Weird pickup configuration with slanted single coils. Ideas on a pickup change?
I would put our Strat Hot 5s in or our Bonnevilles in just about anything. Be the most versatile. Bonnevilles.
Let's see. Steve Rezer said he just ordered. That's the bottle opener.
Oh, excellent.
Thank you, cool. Dylan. All right. I'm all caught up, but we only have 3 minutes left. Any final thoughts on Guitar Land?
Not really.
Was the feedback on the topic what you expected it tonight?
It was fun.
Good.
Okay, cool. I got your email, and yes, we can do what you asked for, and that seems like not a problem at all.
Who's that? Sean?
No. Steve Rezer with the bottle opener. Yeah, that
Sean said he would email you again also.
Okay, awesome.
So that we said email, and I was like,
yeah. No, that's awesome. I can do it, Steve. That'd be fine.
Kyle Ketchamonia says, hey, Dylan, I'm excited for the P90 and custom cover. How is that coming along?
It's wound. The coil is wound, and I would say Monday or Tuesday we'll be putting that together. Yep.
So you already did his cover?
No, but I drew the design and it's file is done. I just have to etch the cover.
Dom D just showed up. He said, hey, everybody, I forgot it was Thursday.
Yeah, so we had a crazy Black Friday week. And we're really, 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 really busy. And so I've been burning the candle to make sure that we get and stay caught up.
Super chat from Michael Hollis. He says, thank you for the super chat, Michael. Pause, slow down. He said his guitar was built as a tribute to a nurse friend who cared for me during chemo. I don't know this word. Sapele, wood. Sapele, wood, satin teal burst with nurse pinup decal, natural back, rosewood with nickel frets with friend's actual EKG pulse inlaid, Shaler hardware, 1M pots on Dylan P90s.
Wow, that's neat, man. I like that a lot. I have a pinup girl on one of my guitars too. I think that's really cool.
Jose said, that sounds cool. Male or female nurse, though.
Ah,
That's so funny. Cool. It is 9.
looks like it's off topic hour. So what we're going to do is we have some off topic questions that came in from Patreon. We would encourage you to ask off topic questions as well. Here's how this works. After 9 o'clock every Thursday night, you can ask whatever question you want as long as it is not a guitar question. If it is a guitar question after 9 o'clock, it has to be in a super chat. We do this just so we can hang out with y'all, get to know you, and just make friends as best we can. And I just think it's important for our community to do that. So, and this is fun. This is one of my favorite times of the week. So we do have some from Patreon, because if you're a Patreon or a YouTube member, you can ask off-topic questions beforehand too. So there's a couple.
All right. We'll start there.
Lean this way some.
What? That way?
Maybe people can see the snake.
You want him to see the snake?
Yeah.
How about I just turn this way?
Because he's like...
all over the place?
Yeah. He's like all... Yeah, there he is right there. He's all stretched out and...
moving around.
Yep. Okay. Anyway, sorry.
Just knock me out of the picture. Thanks. Oh, dang. See, now I'm beating up stuff. All right. That looks creepy back there. I was like, what? Where did that come from? Did I do that? But it's behind me. All right. Charles says, good evening, Leslie and Dylan. Thank you for sharing your evening with us.
Thank you, Charles.
Such a consistent follower. Very grateful. Thanks, Charles. Then we have Scott. Woo, that's long. Scott says, off topic. My son, who is currently 22, still home and finishing up school at the end of the summer, gave my wife and I books to fill out for him. Dad and Mom, I want to hear your story. A father's, mother's guided journal to share his or her life and love. So this was a gift from him to us that in turn will become a gift from us to him when completed. It was a pleasant surprise for each of us. I started working on it a couple of days ago and have a long way to go. Some of the stuff is basic one-word or sentence answers about me, the time I was born, and my younger years. I got to a question. If you could live anywhere in the world for a year with all expenses paid, where would you choose? I very quickly realized that answering this question was not that simple for myself, and especially for my son to look back on in years to come. Is it just me? Am I bringing everything that makes home home? My simple answer would be Hawaii, with the caveat that our pets wouldn't have to do the 120-day rabies quarantine, and my wife would be with me and happy to be there for a year. How would you answer that question, and with what caveats? That is deep.
It is deep.
How long did he have to think about this before he just threw it on us like that?
I know. That's why I was like, I didn't even read the whole thing.
Wow.
I just saw the question.
I have seen those journals. That they are fascinating to think about. I don't know. I think it's cool if your kids want to know your story like that.
Yeah.
I even feel like I've heard Bryson say a few times, like, he's learned more about me because of my friendship with his wife than he knew before.
Oh yeah, because you all talk.
You just have a different relationship, but and I think in turn she's also learning about her dad through him.
Yeah.
Anyway, cool that your son is interested for sure.
Cool that you're having those conversations in family. That's
neat. So, was the question if you could live
anywhere in the world,
like now or in the past?
Now, let's just say now.
Oh, now would be hard because we have a grandbaby on the way. I don't want to go anywhere for a year.
Okay, but
that would be the caveat.
Yeah. Okay.
Could we take our whole family and pets?
Okay. Okay. So
I want to go to New Zealand. I want to live in New Zealand.
Okay. Yeah, we've talked.
But I would have to take everyone, and we would have to have everybody covered.
And we would have to be able to travel from there
Yes.
because it's a friggin' island.
Yes.
So I would not do well, like in Hawaii or like New Zealand would take me a lot longer to get tired of because there's a lot there. So the reason she's saying New Zealand is there's actually some thought that's gone into this because we joke about wanting the beach, the mountains, woods, desert, like all the things in waterfalls, all the things in one place. And New Zealand kind of has that.
Mm-hmm.
It's the closest thing to having all the things in one place.
Within
a relative distance that you could.
There are lots of places that have all of those, we realize, but not within a feasible distance.
Right. But I would still need to be able to travel away from there because I would feel, after a while, I think I would feel stuck.
Even if you didn't have to worry about anything?
If I didn't have to work,
if you could be like on vacation for a year with zero worries.
Yeah. I could do that. Yeah, I could do that.
That would be wild.
Yep.
But I would have to the caveat being all of the kids wanted to go.
We would have to take our whole program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all the pets could go and we could just transplant ourselves.
Yep. Like
elsewhere for a year. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That would be nice too, because I really don't want to be on that plane ride.
No, exactly. Not with all this circus.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I like the caveat he had about the dog quarantine too, because we actually knew people who just went through that.
And I guess I would have to travel because I don't think I could shoot there.
You could suck it up for a year.
Yeah.
We'll just slam your finger again and then you can't.
I know. My trigger finger's busted up. Yeah. No. Yeah, for sure. If it was.
Yeah, I don't think you can shoot there because I don't think you can have guns there.
No. I don't think so.
You wouldn't be able to take a lot of your beloved possessions.
No, I would not. No, actually, I don't think a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great question though.
Yeah. I would still do it though. I would still do it because I would pour all my resources and efforts into, overlanding and exploring and all that stuff I would just go outside.
Oh goodness. A lot has come in since we started talking. I think that was the last one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That was a great question, Scott. Thank you for sharing that with us. I don't think it's just you. I think that would be difficult for a lot of parents to answer. All right. Let's see. Steve Rezer said she's a bartender too. I think she will love it.
Oh, awesome.
Let's see. Dom D said, was opening the ink advent calendar and got to day 4. Was writing with the ink and kept smelling some strange smell. Took me a solid couple of minutes to realize it's scented ink. Yeah, that was gross.
Yeah, I'm not a big scented ink person.
That was so gross.
Not at all.
That was yesterday, the 4th. Are you doing them like in proper order? We just did them all.
Yep.
And we read them like we were trying to see what to expect before. So I knew it was scented. Like, but that was when we got to that, we were like, scented? Like, ew.
I knew Diamine did some scented stuff, but
did they have one or two?
Two.
There were two. One smelled, it might be the wrong one he hasn't got to yet. So I won't say anything out loud. Yeah. I don't remember which one was which.
Yeah.
Anyway, I won't spoil it. There's another one coming, Dom.
Yep.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Let's see. Jose Daniel Zamora P said, will Bryson's son be Bryson's son? Bryson's son? Or you don't know the gender yet. We do know the gender. It is a boy, but no, that will not be his name.
That is hilarious.
Bryson's son. Also because there's Japanese culture in our family.
Yes.
Yeah. That is funny. Jose was like, what scent? And Dom said, like, cherry cough drops. So I think we're talking about the same one. I thought it smelled like Dimetap.
I thought it smelled like Dimetap.
Yeah.
Yep. That's funny. So we are talking about the same one?
Doc Stilton said, I think for me, I would choose Spain. I love the culture and the food, and it's drivable to the rest of mainland Europe.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Mm-hmm.
Eustathio said, my father-in-law was a captain in merchant ships and has traveled all over the world, at least wherever there is a port. He said that of all places, if he could, he would live in New Zealand.
Interesting.
Dom D said, most of the people I know that moved to New Zealand, 2 different couples, all moved back in under 2 years.
Yeah, I don't think it's a forever place for sure. My brother lived in Hawaii for 1.5 years, and he said the same thing about Hawaii. Like, it's awesome, but it's also weird and very isolated and very,
Dom D said he's doing them day by day, and he has a scotch calendar too. I almost bought you one, but it looked cheap. Like, it didn't look classy, so I didn't do it.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, the last tasting you had fun, but I don't think it would have been that quality.
Yeah, no, that was pretty high-end stuff.
We just need to find somebody else with a really good collection that you could sample.
Yeah, so Brianna's boss owns this restaurant, right? Like, she's manager. She manages this restaurant, and he told her, he's like, tell your dad that he needs to come out here and sample some whiskeys with me. Well, I go out there one night,
and we thought it was just like things he had at the bar.
Yeah, no,
which we knew what
he brought. Vial, like 4-ounce vials of his entire collection. There was like 30 of them, and we sat there for a couple hours, and it was stuff I'd never had before. Some stuff I'd heard of and never had. Some stuff I would never buy.
And a lot of it was like aged really old.
A lot of it was, I mean,
and some stuff you can't get
early
anymore.
1900s. Yeah. Like, I mean, a lot of really neat stuff. Some of it was terrible. That you thought would be amazing and was terrible. Some of it was really, really good. Yeah, it was fun.
He said yesterday scotch was very peaty, not a fan. Tastes like Band-Aids that sat next to a campfire and then they fermented it with the scotch. That sounds like if I tasted it. Like, I don't like a lot of that stuff though.
Yeah.
I feel like I can taste his description.
Yeah.
That's so gross.
I like really peaty stuff. I mean, if it's...
But next to a campfire, you probably like it.
And a Band-Aid next to it. Yeah, I don't know about the Band-Aid part. I'm not sure about.
But I know what a Band-Aid
smells like. Yeah, Band-Aids have a smell. And so that would influence the... I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. So medicine-y maybe and peaty, We get a super chat?
Yep. Oh, see, I tried to push it too hard. It's actually just like a tap.
Yeah.
I did it on accident and it still worked.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm learning things. Kyle Ketchamonia, thank you for the super chat, Kyle. He said not moving to Toronto. He's going to make his first feature length on his own independently. Very important. Called The Shadow People, about a paranoid meth head.
Wow.
Does that mean he's still in Florida?
Man.
Wasn't he in Florida?
No.
Where was he? Before
I don't remember.
Was going to Canada.
I don't remember. That's neat, man. I'm all about that. I think that's really cool. Striking out on your own filmmaking is that's a lot of work. Yeah. That's really cool.
Doc's telling Dom he'd probably love that, whatever he just described.
Yeah, me too. I probably would too.
Oh, maybe it's the, what do you call like a... What do you call like a surgical, like a clean, what's that word that you would use to describe like a sanitized
I don't know.
Doctor's office? Like, I wonder if that's, would that appeal to Dawn? Like,
it would smell like work.
I mean, work by a campfire though. That is scotch.
Yeah. Mm.
Anyway, I don't know.
That's funny.
Let's see. Dog Dr. Tim said, I got some ink on one of my dress work shirts today. Any tricks to getting it out?
I have none.
I always heard hairspray worked, but I have not tried it.
We got some new pens today. Got so this is we got our Black Friday shipment because I bought some stuff on Black Friday. And so last week I was saying that I really wanted a Pilot Custom 823. So I got a Pilot Custom 823. This pen is so good. It's funny because it's a Pilot. Like, it is a pen. Like, it looks like a pen. But it is so good. It's so good. I cannot tell you how good it is. The nib is bonkers good. Man, it's good. And I got Leslie a Decimo Vanishing Point. And I got Brianna. So that's her first gold nib. So she's never had a gold nib pen before. So that's her first gold nib. And then I've got Brianna a Caran d'Ache something. Super fluorescent green looking cool thing.
Tom D said the Custom 823 has one of the most amazingly smooth nibs.
It is. Even you said that today. You're like, oh, wow, this is like, yeah, I mean, it writes under its own weight. Like, it's just so good.
Someone's dad said, I have a whiskey diary of a few hundred Scotch, Irish bourbon, and Japanese whiskeys. And then it scrolled. I gave up keeping track a few years ago and stick to Johnny Walker Green and such now.
That's funny.
That's cool, though.
Yeah, that's neat.
Why didn't you keep a diary?
I probably should have.
Oh, my gosh. Doc Stilton said they just got over 4 feet of snow last weekend.
You can have that crap.
That is wild. Kyle said, all this talk of pens make me want to get some. Don't start.
Ha.
Stop.
10% off Dylan 10 at Atlas Stationers. I also have a Black Friday shipment coming from Knife Center. And
You like pause, like, did you hear what I just said?
no. And because I got something for you. I got something for Brianna. I got something for me. I got, I don't think I bought you a knife. I think I bought you, that pepper spray. Yep. And I got her some pepper spray, and I did get her a knife. I got her a little self-defense karambit, and I got me another Spartan. And the other thing I think I got coming is I got an Olight order coming. And I got her a flashlight. I got me a flashlight, and I got us a flashlight, sort of, because the one that we're using for the dogs is like kind of overkill. So I got an easier one to use for the dog. It's just a regular.
You just need floodlights.
You know, I was thinking about that today. I wonder if we should just put another light on the back side of the house.
That would help.
It would. Because it's dark over there. Yeah, maybe.
Let's see. Dr. Tim said I bought some Black Friday sale pens from Gold Spot. They haven't come yet.
Nice.
Rick Bonneville said, I'd like to make an indie about a retired dentist who uses his victims' teeth for all of the inlays in his guitars called Doc's. Doc's Hilliday.
Dang,
Wow,
that's hilarious.
That's funny. Doc said he can act, ?
That's funny, man.
Curtis Chavez said, if you knew that something would probably be pretty cool, but it was super ugly, would you still get it?
It depends what it is and how cool it was. And
I mean, isn't that how you describe people when they're not cute? They're really cool. She's really nice.
How good is the personality? That's what you. I mean, I don't know. I have stuff that's not overly attractive, but that is very good. Like I have some knives that are not like really cool looking, but they're just really good. I have some fountain pens. I don't know. I would put this Custom 823 in that department. I don't think it's particularly attractive. Because I have way cooler looking fountain pens than this. But it's really good. So I don't know. I don't know.
Super chat from Kyle Catchamonia. Thanks for the super chat, Kyle. He said he's from Canada, Saskatchewan, the middle of nowhere.
That's right.
Is that where he was living, though?
I think so.
Oh, okay. And he was just going to Toronto. Someone's dad said the pen habit is a whole nother thing. My cousin at Key Bar in Savannah makes a great pen holder called the Quick Draw, a massive revolver cylinder on ball bearings for pens.
I think we've seen that at pen shows.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never been to. Have I been to a pen show?
No.
Brianna
and I went.
I was like, wait.
I think I've seen that. It looks like is it 3D printed and it looks like a revolver cylinder. It's really neat. If it's the same thing I'm thinking of. Yep.
G Money said, thanks for your suggestion last week on the Hogue Deca. My wife is getting me that for Christmas. Now, do you have a recommendation for a sharpener?
Yes. In that same video, we did a video on our other channel, the Dylan Leslie channel. And actually, if you go down in the description, there should be our Amazon store should be down there. My favorite kind of sharpener that I use the most, in fact, I just used it on this knife before the live stream, is we have a link to it. It's a Worksharp field sharpener, and it's only about this big, and it's got angle guides on it. It's got 2 different diamond plates. It's got ceramic rod. It's really cool, and it's only about this big. You can just like have it in your junk drawer or whatever. That one is awesome. And then Worksharp also makes a fixed angle sharpener that you clamp the knife in it, and then it's got a thing that goes across the blade like this. And that thing's pretty awesome too, and I have one of those. And that thing's about $100, I think. But that Worksharp field sharpener is like $35, and it's really good. It works really well. I use it a lot. One of the things I did do this last week, well, I got a couple new knives. I got another half face blades because they're my favorite. And I got this is the model is Kratos, and this is I can't remember. Anyway, it's Damascus. So titanium Damascus with a Damascus blade. Pretty cool knife. Concept. It's a concept. And then the other thing I did, actually in that same shipment, was I typically, like with a sharpening strap, with like a leather strap, you'll use this stuff and it'll look basically like a green crayon. And I changed, and it's some sort of oxide paste that is basically made into a crayon, basically, and you just rub it on the leather and then you strop it on the leather. But I went ahead and bought the diamond paste, and it's just a teeny little syringe. It's like a little syringe tube, like a blunt syringe tube. And you don't need very much. I mean, it's like this much, and then you just like rub it into the leather. And it'll last weeks, you know. Well, as many knives as I sharpen, it'll last weeks. Probably last other people way longer. it took my knife sharpening to the next level. I cannot tell you how much better I sharpened every knife I own. I mean, I probably have 100, but I sharpened all of them. I stropped all of them because I'm like, wait a minute. They all could be this much better because this stropping compound is this much better. 6 micron, 3 micron, and 1 micron. And I only use the 6 and the 3 because I only have 2 strops. So I really should get another strop and put the 1 micron on that, at least for our Japanese knives, for our kitchen knives. Because I don't know if you noticed when you cooked last, but our kitchen knives went. I mean, we have Japanese hand forged kitchen knives. They're the sharpest knives ever, but they went the next level. I was like, wow, this is good.
All I cut was an onion, so.
Oh, yeah.
But it did cut really good.
Yeah. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And even regular.
The problem being, you have the knives so sharp. They cut the food good, but then they want to cut the cutting board because the cutting board is so sharp.
Soft. Yeah.
Anyway. Someone's dad said that key-bar quick draw is CNC milled from billet.
What?
He said, on the other hand, Mike might be 3D printing some now.
Wait, key bar. Hang on. Is Key Bar the guy at the knife show with the little Ultim? Hang on. I think I met this guy. I'm going to look at this up because I think I met this guy and he makes some cool crap. If this is the guy I'm thinking.
And you say he's related to him?
Key Bar.
My cousin.
Store. Does he make the little key retainers and stuff? Because I mean, I guess that's what, if this is what I think it is, we met this guy at the last Blade show. He made these key bars.
Oh, yeah.
And he had the ones, he's like, he wasn't even making them in Ultim yet, but he had a bunch of like prototypes there. And so maybe this is the guy. This stuff is freaking cool though.
He says, yes, Michael Taylor, my first cousin with platinum white hair.
Oh, interesting.
Matthew Altamere said, how do you deal with the extreme amounts of emails these days? It seems anything I bought in the last 20 years has to email me 40 times a day, but occasionally there's something I'm interested in. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, Cerakoted billet. That's cool. Yeah.
And it spins?
Yeah.
Because he said ball bearings?
That's neato. Yeah, we were talking about that the other day, me and Leslie, because I felt like we were just getting bombarded with emails.
I mean, I just unsubscribe.
Yeah.
And then anybody that keeps emailing me, I just report them because I'm like, this is technically illegal.
I only stay subscribed to the stuff that I'm actually interested in.
Yeah, because some stuff I've bought and it was just like a one-time thing and I'm never going to shop with them again. Or if I am, it wouldn't be often enough to care what's on sale. You know,
sometimes it will influence when I purchase something. I always want to get the Half-Face Blades notifications. I want to get the Montana Knife Company notifications. I actually get those in texts. Like they drop a knife every Thursday night at 9. I also, like Knife Center, Blade HQ, like a few of that stuff. The ones that get excessive are like Optics Planet, Gun Mag Warehouse. There's a bunch of firearms ones, and it's like, dude, you have tried to sell me 5.56 ammo like 19 times this week. And I mean, how much do I need? I mean, like more, obviously.
I don't know.
But like, yeah, I want to say it's Gun Mag Warehouse. They send me an email every day. And I'm just like, I do not need.
I mean, can't you change the frequency?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
If I usually try to check frequency, and if they can't reduce frequency,
Then you unsubscribe.
then I just unsubscribe. Phil Groschel says, what do you think about the sharpeners with the 20-degree angle plate and tumbler roller to sharpen? Are those worth it?
I don't think so. I'm not no, because here's why. The geometry of that. So basically the way that works is you would take the knife and you would like hold it like this, right? And then you would roll that thing next to it. The problem is that if you have a blade that's this tall, okay, and then you take another blade that's this tall and you put it against the same thing, and you have something like a belly on it that's this, what ends up happening with that, and you actually have to worry, you have to be concerned about this sometimes with fixed angle sharpeners too, is when you swing that thing over the blade, what will happen is the angle will change, and so your secondary bevel right here will be fatter on one part, thinner on one part, and fatter on another part because of how that works, because of the belly in this knife. And a lot of kitchen knives, like a 6-inch or 7-inch or an 8-inch chef's knife, has so much belly in it that the tip will end up, if you do it wrong with one of those things, will have a different secondary bevel angle than the heel. And so you'll end up having to basically, if you ever want to sharpen that knife any other way, having to regrind the whole thing and getting a consistent bevel on the whole thing. So I'm not a fan of them. I know a lot of people are, and I think those are marketed, in my opinion, to people who, if you're not a knife guy and you just have some knives, like let's say you're any normal person who is not as nerdy about this as me. So it might be you, it might be many of you who are watching this right now. If you're not as nerdy about this as me, and you have a set of Wüsthoffs, or Henkels or whatever, or Chicago cutlery, or whatever knives that you've had, and you just want to touch them up, then that's who that's for. It's to take. You don't have to learn angle control. You don't have to learn all that stuff. But for me, a person who understands the cutting geometry and all that kind of stuff, and I want my knives to be really, really dead on, it's not good enough. So it's kind of, how nerdy do you want to get? So I wouldn't say don't buy it, but I would definitely say don't buy the generic one. All the testing I've ever done and testing I've ever seen is like the generic ones on Amazon, the generic ones on, get the real one. I can't remember what the brand name is, but it's like a wooden looking one. And it's like 2 or 3 times as much as all the other ones. Get the good one of those if you're going to get one. I would recommend, there's a couple channels on YouTube if you're ever curious about this stuff. Neeves Knives, which is Neeves Knives, on YouTube. He actually sharpens knives. He does that. He's a knife reviewer, but he also has a bunch of videos on sharpening. And then I think it's called Outdoor 55 or Outdoor 66 or something like that. There's a guy, and all he does is sharpening videos. That's all he does. And he talks.
Is that the dude that's always chopping vegetables?
No, that is Knifeware. That's a company that sells Japanese knives in Canada.
Oh.
Yeah. But I think it's called Outdoor 55 or Outdoor 66 or something like that. It's just a guy sitting at a bench, and he'll show you like microscopic pictures of a knife blade, and like, this is what this is doing, and this is how he's very, very, if you want to get into sharpening, that guy's really good.
Yeah. Someone's dad said he has one of those prototypes from 15 years ago and a couple custom unauthorized UGA ones.
I want one of his key bars in Ultim. He was making those as prototypes at the last.
They're not on his website yet?
Blade show. And I want some of those. I think they were still working on them.
Phil Groschel said he has all the brands you just named, the sharpening stuff.
Oh, okay, good.
Jose Daniel Zamora P said, the most annoying for me is iCloud stalking me about storage I don't want. I have iCloud storage that I pay for, so I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, and I don't know that I ever have. I mean, I think I have enough now, but.
I mean, I pay Google One and I pay Apple. Yes. I want all the things backed up.
Yeah, I don't ever want to lose anything. Yeah, and now because like with all this laser stuff, I mean, I use Google Drive every day. Like,
I mean, I use Google Drive every day too, but not personally.
Yeah, for work. Well, so, because I'm drawing and doing all that stuff, and we have two different lasers. One of the lasers I use this computer, my Mac, but my other laser, I use a PC. So to get the files on that, I use Google Drive.
Oh, I knew I missed something. So Shane Walton said, off topic, favorite horror movie? Because Kyle Cacciamone just responded. He said Texas Chainsaw Massacre, then Halloween. He said they're both independent movies, which probably is why Kyle likes them.
I am not a horror film person.
I'm not either.
All.
The closest, I feel like we've talked about this here. The closest.
Shamalama Ding Dong.
Yeah, psychological thrillers are as, I don't want gory. I don't like a lot of violence. You can watch action movies. I don't even really like those, but psychological thrillers, which are technically more scary to me because people are really that messed up. Mm-hmm. So like Split, Silence of the Lambs. Like I like all that creepy, weird, get in your head stuff. Yeah, that's the books I read too, though.
Yeah.
So, but not horror as the genre defines it, but it is terrifying.
Yes.
Someone's dad said Jaws is the greatest horror movie of all time. I mean, if Jaws is a horror movie, I like Jaws too. That's like did you watch Jaws when you were?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I feel like that's just like classic movie of our time. Yeah. Funny.
What else?
Is it? Oh, Dom D said action movies with gratuitous violence is my thing. I can take or leave horror.
So
we are not together on that.
So here's my thing. I agree with you. I'm not a gratuitous violence person, but I will take a James Bond movie over a horror movie because I can't do the breaking of skin. Like the breaking of skin bothers me. Now I can watch people get shot, like, you know what I mean? Like a James Bond movie or a, Rambo or something. But if to watch a needle, like the syringe break the skin or like that, I can't do that. I can't watch the breaking of skin.
That's funny.
Yeah. That's basically where my stomach doesn't like me. Like I can handle a lot, but that's now, if you need to put a needle in me, like I've had so many surgeries and all kinds of stuff that, it doesn't bother me. I'm not scared of needles, but to watch it, I'm not into it.
Oh, my earring just got stuck on my sweater. Hey, stop. Cool.
Well, this has been fun. And the dog's about to wake up from a nap and need to go outside.
Yeah. He's
getting restless a little bit.
Up.
Yep.
Acting up.
So it's probably about a good time. Unless we got any last minute.
Oh, Dom D is talking about John Wick, Jason Bourne. That's him.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Same. Yeah, same. Yep. Absolutely. Yep.
The Exorcist, still the scariest ever.
Oh, yeah. No. See, I won't even go into that stuff. I'm not even.
Oh, you're talking about breaking the skin. Doc's like, dude, that's my 9 to 5 daily.
Yep. Nope. Not into it. I don't mind it. Like I had
especially because you just recently had dental anesthesia for the first time and you did not like it.
I'm not saying I didn't. I mean, I don't care. It doesn't bother me. Like, I don't understand why that needle has to be so big.
I don't know.
But I also it doesn't bother me to have it done to me.
Ugh.
I don't want to watch it though.
I have anesthesia issues, like I should be a redhead. Like it never works and I have to always get more.
Mm-hmm.
Which is terrifying.
Yep. I get that.
But anyway.
Well, cool. Thanks everybody. This has been fun. I guess we'll see you either tomorrow or Monday.